I'm fresh out of college. I have my degree. Yeah. I am incredibly eager to help people, but honestly, I'm completely intimidated.
Which is totally fair.
Right, because I'm actively considering joining the team at Ignite Families,
yeah.
But I need to know what I'm actually walking into. Like, what is the reality?
Well, that's exactly why I am here to kind of pull back the curtain for you. I have my Bachelor of Social Work, 2 years of field experience, and I've been contracting with Ignite for several months now.
Awesome.
So I really want to show you what it actually takes to provide services for these families referred to us by the Indiana Department of Child Services, or DCS. It's incredibly rewarding, but it requires a level of discipline that they just do not teach you in a college classroom.
Okay, well, let's start with the sheer volume of it all. Give me the raw numbers. What does your baseline week even look like?
So a typical week for me hovers right around 30 to 35 hours total.
Okay.
And within that, I'm balancing 4 cases, 5 clients, and 6 different referrals.
My head is already spinning. As a new grad, hearing 4 cases, 5 clients, 6 referrals, I just picture myself running around with my hair on fire.
It sounds like a lot, I know.
How do you even begin to approach a workload with that many moving parts without just drowning?
You don't run around, you triage. Think of it like being an ER doctor.
Okay.
You wouldn't try to fix a patient's broken finger if they are, actively bleeding out from a chest wound. You have to stabilize the chaos first.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And Ignite relies heavily on very structured frameworks and evidence-based practices to do this. We definitely don't just wing it.
So it's very systematic.
Exactly. To see how that triage actually works on the ground, let me tell you about one of my current cases. It's a father named John. John recently got out of jail on theft and drug charges. He's on probation, and he actually hadn't seen his 4 kids in 2 years.
Wow, 2 years?
Yeah. And while he was gone, his ex-partner had custody. And the environment just became an absolute nightmare. We're talking severe meth use, prostitution, leaving a 10-year-old in charge of 3 toddlers in a house just full of filth.
That's heartbreaking.
It is. And on top of that, the ex's new boyfriend was physically abusive.
So it's literally the definition of a crisis.
Exactly. Now, the mother and the boyfriend are incarcerated. The kids were removed by DCS and placed in a really safe foster home.
Good.
Yeah. And they are getting therapy for the trauma, but there are massive behavioral challenges, as you'd probably expect. But now John is out and he really wants to step up. So DCS referred him to us for father engagement and visitation.
Okay, so you walk into the situation. John is rough around the edges. He probably hates DCS, and his kids have severe trauma. Where do you even start with a guy like that?
Like I said, we start with the bleeding. We use a framework called SETH to prioritize. It's essentially a tactical hierarchy of needs.
SETH. Okay, what does that stand for?
We lock down sobriety and mental health first, then employment, transportation, and housing.
Oh, SETH. Got it.
Right. Because if I try to teach him advanced parenting skills while he's, sleeping in his car, it's just useless information.
Yeah, he's not going to absorb a word you're saying. That makes total sense. So how does SETH play out practically for John?
Practically, it means making sure he is consistently taking his Suboxone and his anti-anxiety meds and getting him to therapy every Sunday.
So that's the S in mental health part.
Exactly. And once his mind was clear, we tackled employment and transportation by building a resume and literally paying off old fines so he could get his driver's license reinstated.
The housing piece in your notes was what really caught my eye, though, because you didn't just, hand the guy a list of affordable apartments and say good luck.
No, definitely not.
You were on Facebook Marketplace with him, literally using Google Translate on your phone to help him communicate with a Hispanic landlord.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wild.
You kind of have to do whatever it takes. The landlord didn't require a strict background check, which is a massive barrier for someone fresh off probation.
Oh, right, because of the felony charges.
Exactly. You really have to meet clients exactly where they are and use every tool in your pocket.
And once that foundation is stable, once he has a safe apartment and he's sober, how do you actually teach him to be a dad to these traumatized kids?
That's where the evidence-based practices, or EBPs, come in. We use curricula like 1, 2, 3 Magic or bringing back the dads during his visit. We do this week after week. And I send weekly tuck-in emails to the DCS family case manager and detailed monthly reports tracking this exact behavioral shift.
So the documentation actually proves the change to the state.
Yes, exactly. And because of that paper trail, his case manager is increasing his parenting time. In fact, today we're using an agency discount to take the kids to the Children's Museum for 4 hours.
That's amazing.
I know. He budgeted for it. He packed the lunches. It's really working.
Okay, so triage works beautifully when someone like John wants to change. But what if the client doesn't even realize they're bleeding out?
Then you have to find the source of the wound. That was Joanna's case. This was a family preservation referral, meaning the kids were still in the home, but DCS gave her 6 months to fix severe environmental dangers or the kids would be removed.
And by severe, we are talking like mouse droppings on the counters, roach infestations, cat feces on the floor.
Piles of trash everywhere, yes. But as a caseworker, you can't just walk in and say, hey, here's a broom, clean this up. You have to ask why the house looks like this.
Right.
And Joanna was paralyzed by severe chronic depression. So again, triage. Step 1 was getting her to a doctor. Once she started taking SSRIs, her brain chemistry stabilized. She finally had the energy to literally just get off the couch.
So you fix the chemistry first, but the house is still a total disaster, right?
Right. So then we introduced the teaching family model.
Okay, another framework. How does that one work?
It really focuses on positive reinforcement and structured routines.
Yeah.
We sat down and built chore charts, not just for her, but for the kids too.
Oh, getting everyone involved.
Yeah, the model taught her how to set a boundary, like taking away screen time until the trash was taken out, and how to specifically praise the kids when they actually did it. It creates this great momentum. She even got a part-time job.
But momentum can crash, right?
Yeah.
I saw in the file that her car broke down right after she got the job.
It did. And in this field, I mean, a broken water pump can unravel 6 months of intense therapy.
Because if she loses the car, she loses the job.
Exactly. The depression spirals and the kids get removed. But Ignite doesn't just leave you hanging when that happens. After exhausting all the community resources, I requested concrete funds from the agency. I worked with Daryl, and Ignite actually just paid for the car repair.
Wait, really? They just paid for it?
Yes, to preserve the family. And it worked. Today, my weekly safety checklists show fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, and clean floors. Her case is closing early.
See, that is the dream scenario right there.
Yes.
You used the SETH triage, you brought in the concrete funds, and it saved the family.
It did.
But let's talk about the nightmare scenario. What happens when you do everything right, you pour your whole heart into it, and the parent just entirely rejects the help?
Yeah, that brings us to Polly.
Break this one down for me, because honestly, this is the stuff that genuinely scares me about entering this field.
I get it. So Polly is a mom currently experiencing homelessness, camping under a downtown overpass. Her 7-year-old, Charlie, lives with his grandmother. My referral here is very specific. Parenting time observation. Polly is allotted 6 hours of visitation a week.
But she doesn't use it.
Almost never. She might ask for an hour at a McDonald's or maybe a library, but mostly she just no-shows.
That's awful.
I'll pick up Charlie. We'll drive to the gas station near her camp, and we'll just wait. Charlie is so used to it, he just sings along to the radio on the drive back to his grandma's.
Yeah.
But last week, she did show up, and she was incredibly high. I had to terminate the visit immediately and take Charlie away.
Okay, here's where my inexperience really shows, right?
Yeah.
Because if I see a 7-year-old getting let down like that, my instinct is just a massive savior complex.
Most people's would be.
I'd want to track Polly down under that overpass on my day off. I'd want to coordinate with her rehab center, drag her to her appointments, and basically force her to get clean for this kid.
Which is exactly what you cannot do.
But why? I mean, if she's failing, shouldn't we step in harder?
Because if you do that, you aren't doing social work anymore. You're doing vigilantism.
Vigilantism.
Yes. It violates professional ethics, and it can literally destroy the legal integrity of the case. You have to learn to stay in your lane. My referral is observation. I am not her home-based caseworker.
But can't you at least call her other caseworkers or her therapist and get on the same page? Like, form a strategy.
Not without a signed release of information, an ROI. That is a legal document.
Oh, I see.
If she doesn't sign it and I go behind her back to talk to her therapist, I have violated her privacy rights. If I cross that line, I become a liability, and any evidence I provide to the court could literally be thrown out.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about the legal domino effect of that. So you literally just have to sit there and watch her fail. How do you not internalize that and just burn out in a month?
It is a profound grief. It really is. You survive it by relying on your agency. I call my team leader frequently just to vent and process that helplessness.
That's good you have that support.
Yeah. And right now, because we have documented everything objectively, the team is actually discussing changing the concurrent plan from reunification to TPR, which is termination of parental rights.
Which means Charlie might finally get some permanent stability, even if it's not with his mom.
Exactly. The boundaries feel really restrictive sometimes, but they protect the long-term outcome for the child.
Still, if every day was a case like Polly's, the emotional heaviness would crush anyone. You'd need something to balance the scales.
Oh, absolutely. You need cases that remind you why you do this. For me, that's a 12-year-old kid named Hela Mint.
Tell me about Hela.
He is a trans Burmese boy in foster care. His parents are refugees, and he was removed due to severe physical abuse and educational neglect.
That's a rough start.
It is, but despite everything he's been through, this kid knows exactly who he is, and he is hilarious. My referral for him isn't therapy or visitation observation. It's providing 4 hours a week of math and English tutoring.
But you're acting as a tutor? I thought this was human services, not middle school education.
It's both. Ignite set me up with all the educational tools I needed. So suddenly, I'm coordinating with his guardian ad litem and his therapist while simultaneously teaching myself algebra so I can teach it to him.
Oh man, algebra.
I know, right? But seeing his grades skyrocket and just getting to laugh at his silly faces for 4 hours a week, I mean, it just fills my cup back up.
I can totally see how those moments of pure joy give you the bandwidth to handle the darker stuff. But speaking of the darker stuff, I read the notes on the Darnell and Jolene case, and my warning sirens went off immediately.
I was really wondering when you'd bring them up.
Okay, so set the stage for the listener here. Darnell is Caucasian. Jolene is half Hispanic and half African-American. They have a 5-year-old daughter, Danita, who was removed after law enforcement responded to a domestic violence incident.
Correct. There's currently a protective order in place.
Right. Now, you are doing father engagement with Darnell, and according to the file, he is crushing it. Like he's passing every drug screen. He's perfect in his batterer's intervention program. He's showing up early.
On paper, Darnell is an absolute rock star.
Meanwhile, you are also providing home-based casework and DV survivor intervention for Jolene, the victim, and she is struggling. She's missing appointments and using substances to cope with the trauma.
Yes.
Now, my naive new grad brain looks at this and thinks, this is great. You have rapport with both of them. You can act as a mediator. You can pass messages between them and help them get on the same page for their daughter's sake.
Okay, I am so glad you said that because that is the most dangerous assumption you could possibly make.
Wait, really? Why? It seems helpful.
Because mediating between an abuser and a victim in an active BV case is incredibly risky. Abusers thrive on power, control, and manipulation. Darnell has a long history of physical, emotional, and financial abuse against Jolene.
Right, but he's doing so well now.
His perfect compliance right now. It's often a tactic. He's trying to look like the stable, perfect parent to the court so he can get full custody and continue to control Jolene through their child.
Oh, wow. Because she's using substances to cope with the trauma he caused, so she looks like the bad parent.
Exactly. And Jolene is terrified. If she knows I am sitting in a room with her abuser, laughing and working on parenting skills, she will never trust me. I lose all ability to be a safe harbor for her.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So how did you handle it? Because you're caught right in the middle of this.
I recognized the danger immediately, and I staffed it with my supervisor. He agreed that having one provider handle both sides of a complex DV dynamic is highly unusual and compromises safety.
So what's the plan?
So we leverage the agency. Right now, we are actively collaborating with Paris, Levi, Lori, and the DCS case manager to transfer Darnell to a completely different provider within Ignite.
Ah, so you create physical and professional silos to protect the victim.
Exactly. It preserves Jolene's safety and trust, and it completely removes that conflict of interest.
Which brings me to my final question. Hearing all of this, navigating complex DV manipulation, teaching algebra, translating leases, holding the line on ROIs with a mom under a bridge, none of this is sustainable if the company you work for treats you like a machine.
Absolutely not.
So as someone looking to enter this field, I had to ask, why did you choose Ignite Families?
Because their culture isn't just a poster on the wall, you know? Ignite is a minority-owned, veteran-owned company. Their motto is kindling joy, fostering unity, and they actually operationalize it.
How? What does that look like on a random Tuesday?
It looks like extremely strict work-life balance rules.
That's incredible.
They know that if we don't protect our peace, we can't protect these families. Because of those rules, I can actually turn my phone off. I can spend time with my own family. I am a strong advocate from my clients precisely because Ignite ensures I don't just burn to a crisp.
Coming out of college, I thought this job was just about having a big heart and profound empathy.
A lot of people think that.
But seeing SETH in action, understanding the strict ROI boundaries, the safety protocols for domestic violence, I mean, it requires just as much rigid tactical execution as it does empathy.
It really does. The structure is the concrete foundation that allows the empathy to actually build a safe home.
Wow.
And that's the thought I want to leave you, the listener, with today.